To the other major story in Australia at the moment, the Prime Minister has labelled Friday's synagogue firebombing in Melbourne an act of terrorism. 2 days after the attack and criticism that Labor has done little to counter the rise of anti-Semitism, the Prime Minister says it meets his definition of terror. He's announced an extra $32.5 million in funding to help enhance security at synagogues and Jewish schools.
Anthony Albanese met Jewish community leaders in Perth. The firebombing of the Adass synagogue in Melbourne, a topic that has followed him from one end of the country to the other.
This has been aimed at creating fear, and that is what terrorists seek to do.
The Prime Minister had been criticised by the opposition of his handling of the attack, accusing him of failing to officially label it terrorism. It took 2 days.
This is an act of terrorism, pure and simple.
But the PM says it's not that simple.
The state jurisdictions who have the lead on this through Victoria Police will make an assessment and a recommendation. That's the formal process.
A meeting of Victoria Police and Australian Federal Police will take place in Melbourne on Monday to officially determine whether the arson attack was an act of terror. The fire tore through the Adass synagogue just after 4 a.m. on Friday. Both sides of politics are concerned the attack could import a foreign war onto Australian soil. Anthony Albanese was called out by Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, saying Labor's stance on Israel led to the incident. The Prime Minister was undeterred by the accusation.
That is a matter for Mr. Netanyahu.
The opposition leader claims he isn't surprised by the attack.
The Prime Minister took a deliberate decision 13 months ago to play down the level of anti-Semitism in the community, and the government's policies right up to this very day have made it less safe for people of Jewish faith in our country.
Labor frontbencher Murray Watt is accusing the opposition of using the attack for political advantage.
Within hours of this occurring, the Prime Minister was making very strong statements, unequivocally condemning this attack. And of course, we've taken a range of actions over the last couple of years to try to crack down on anti-Semitism as well. So I think it's just very disappointing that Peter Dutton can't avoid politicising these sorts of terrible events.
New South Wales Premier Chris Minns has announced he would look to ban protests outside places of worship in response to the firebombing.
Whether it's a synagogue, whether it's a church, whether it's a mosque in the state, we cannot have a situation where it's lawfully protected to exercise your religion, to practice your religion, but somebody else has decided to stop that from happening.
It's been welcomed by the New South Wales Jewish Board of Deputies after the Great Synagogue in Sydney went into lockdown as protesters gathered outside. Nathaniel Keesing, Sky News, Sydney.